What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Tricky Woodworks. This first video is basically just going to be a quick little tour of the shop so you can see what I have here and what I use to get things done. Before we go into that though, I just wanted to say a few things and tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Tricky D. I'm an amateur woodworker. I just started doing this not too long ago, but it's something I've been interested in for a very, very long time. I'm a chef by profession. A couple of years ago I had got testicular cancer. I had to quit cooking for a while and I had to find other ways to occupy my time. So I started getting more into the arts and crafts side of myself, and that's how we ended up here. So I'm really excited to be doing this. I have a very basic workshop down here. We're just in my small basement in my house. A very basic workshop, minimal amount of tools, just basically just the essentials to get the things done that I like doing. I've completed a few projects. We'll go over those in another video. But the goal of this channel is basically just going to be to show you guys and myself that even with a small budget, a small shop, and not a whole lot of resources, you can still create really cool things just using your creativity and your ingenuity. So that's really what we're going to be focused on here. I don't claim to be a master craftsman, nowhere near it. I'm definitely an amateur. So we'll go through a lot of learning processes together here on this channel, and I think that'll be good for me as well as for everyone watching. So thank you for checking out this channel. We're going to go ahead and get into the tour of the shop and just go over the few things I have here. It's not going to be a long tour. And then we'll get started working on some of the other videos. We have some projects right here that were in the works. I'll show you some of the things I've already built down here. And then we'll get to working on more projects and making more videos. So let's go ahead and get into the tour. So we'll start right here. Every good wood shop needs wood. So this is a cheap little hanging shelf that I built out of scrap pieces of wood I had from a leftover project from last summer, where I tried to build a pallet swimming pool in my yard. Didn't quite go exactly as planned, but we'll redo that this year and get it right. But basically all this lumber here is all poplar. It's really good furniture grade lumber. All this stuff has been squared and planed, and I got a really good deal on this. This is what they call cutoffs, and this is from a furniture manufacturer, and I got all of this poplar for $50, the whole load, all of it that I could fit in my vehicle. So we're gonna use this for a lot of our projects, along with when we need other special woods, we go to the hardwood store and get those. But wood, step number one. So this little area right here, just this table and this piece of plywood, this is actually what we're using right now as our paint booth. So anytime we need to paint or stain or varnish anything, we bring it right over here to this table. And we use this as our backsplash and paint color tester. So paint booth. All right, so these shelves here were actually here when I moved into this house. So I got lucky there, but these shelves is where we keep everything for our paints, our varnishes, our finishes. These cups down here have extra sand, sawdust and stuff in them that we use for projects. And then we have all of our hand tools, our saws, our drills, our sanders, all that other good stuff, our charging station up here. So these shelves hold a miscellaneous of things that we need to get stuff done down here. Again, very simple, nothing fancy here. Spray paints, cheap hand tools I've had for a long time. Not too much going on here, but we get the job done. Okay, we can go ahead and start getting into the tools. What we have here is a tool shop, which I'm pretty sure is probably a Menards brand. I got this at Menards. This is a tool shop dual sander. It has a 6-inch wheel sander and I think it's a 14-inch belt sander, a 4-inch by 14-inch belt sander. So this thing comes in really handy. This was actually very cheap. I picked this up for like $80, I believe it was, around Christmas time. So this is a very, very handy tool to have in the shop, and it was pretty inexpensive. It was only $80. It's a great tool, and it does everything we need it to do. And she runs like a charm. So that's our little $80 sander. So over here, right next to our sander, on this little $40 card table that I got at Walmart, we have our Ryobi chop saw. Now this chop saw I have actually had for quite a number of years. I bought this probably 7 or 8 years ago, and if I remember correctly, it was definitely somewhere around $100, maybe $120, but I've had this for a long time. You know, it's a chop saw. Use it for cutting wood. But that's another one of the main tools in the shop, and again, pretty inexpensive. All the tools I have are pretty much the cheapest versions of those tools. So you can definitely go out and get a $700-800 chop saw, $700-800 dual sander, but I got the cheapest ones you could get because that's my budget. So, but they get the job done just fine. Let's keep it moving. So this here is actually the biggest tool in the shop. This is our table saw. This is a Shop Series table saw. Again, I'm pretty sure this is the Menards brand or something that they buy in cheap. Not to say it's not a good table saw. This table saw was only, I think, $89, somewhere around there, less than $100, again, around Christmas time. So I've only had it for a few months, but this thing was less than $100. It's a great little table saw. Of course, I had to put an upgraded blade in it because they give you a really cheap blade. But other than that, this is a really great table saw. We use this for all of our ripping, all of our cutting, all of our angles. And this thing is just amazing. Use it for making our inlay line, our inlay grooves. And I really, really dig this tool. And again, less than $100. And again, you can go out and get one of these that costs thousands of dollars. And of course, it's gonna be way nicer than this, more features, etc., etc. But if you're on a budget, less than $100 at Menards, you're on your way to the races. So to go along with our table saw here, we have our router that I've made a table for out of just a few pieces of scrap wood, because I don't really have the room down here for a separate router table, and I didn't have the budget to buy a router table. So I went out and got a cheap router. It was like $60. Again, it's a Ryobi router. It's a nice little router. It's not a plunge router. It's stationary, but it's a good little router. So as you can see here, I have the router just mounted on these 3 little pieces of wood. And what I do is I flip this upside down here, put it on the table saw, put it on the table saw like so, clamp it down on both sides, and then this is our router table. So really inexpensive yet effective way to have a portable router table that really cost me absolutely nothing. You can spend a couple $100 on a router table. Cheapest ones I've seen are around $100. I didn't have that extra money in the budget right now, so I just threw this together. Works great. Alright, so the last stop on the tour here is the workstation itself. We have a floating workbench here that I built hanging from the floor rafters for the house upstairs. There's no level surface on the ground anywhere down here. It's a poured concrete basement, nothing's level. So the only way I was going to get a level workstation down here was to hang it from the ceiling. So that's what we did. We built this workbench hanging from the ceiling. It's good and sturdy. And then behind us we have all of our pegboard with all of our most commonly used tools. Screwdrivers, chisels, paint brushes, jig kits, drill bits, just pretty much everything, levels, rulers, markers, everything we need, quick access to, easy at hand to make life easier down here. So, oh, and then of course we got all of our clamps up here. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the workshop. So I'm just gonna wrap this tour up. Thank you guys again for tuning in and checking it out. And be on the lookout for more videos coming up soon from Tricky Woodworks. See you guys soon.